I'm your favorite host, and now you're watching Singapore's Top 5 Reasons Why. Tonight, we'll be talking about the top 5 reasons why you should consider Singapore for your business. Our guest for today will be an Indonesian lady, Miss Brianata, who wants to start her business right here. Without further ado, let's tune into her request now.
Sorry, I was just setting up my camera just now. Hi, I'm Madam Brianata from Indonesia. I've been thinking about migrating for a long time to start my business in a new place. Based on the statistics on my computer, Singapore seems like a possible idea because I can continue out my business there. But is Singapore really the best choice?
So, our show is to help this dear lady. We want to convince her in choosing Singapore as a place that she can migrate to. For now, we'll be interviewing 5 consultants to explain Singapore's global trade and market. Our local finance minister, Harman Shanmugaratnam. A business professional from China, Mr. Shu Shan.
Yo, 我是苏珊。
A Malaysian actress who have joined the MediaCorp, Yo Yo.
Hello.
A typical Singaporean housewife, Mrs. Sun.
Hi. A domestic helper from the Philippines, Leticia Pongnino.
Hello, sir. Hello, ma'am. Hello. To explain Singapore's global trade and market. Firstly, let's welcome our very own local finance minister, Harman Shanmugaratnam.
This is Harman Shanmugaratnam. Singapore has been ranked as one of the most globalized and open economies for international trade and investment in the world. Singapore's openness to trade has made it one of the leading trading economies of the world. We adopt an open trade policy, which means that traders will encounter very few barriers while operating here. Moreover, with high quality of transport infrastructure and excellent customs service, Singapore Customs is reported to process trade flows of worth close to $1 trillion. Singapore also adopts the free market system so that industries can respond quickly and to adjust their strategies accordingly. Governments like us will not intervene in the economic decisions of firms in Singapore, where entrepreneurs are free to set up their business in any sector here.
Wow, not bad ah. Lee Kuan Yew and Lee Hsien Loong will not kaypoh one. So the whole day say Singaporeans kaypoh, okay?
Yes, Mrs. Tan. Because of Singapore's size and limited resources, we need to be more open in terms of trade and investments.
Wow! I think Miss Brianata's business will surely find it easy to raise capital under such environment. And did you know Singapore has actually no tariffs for most imported goods?
Wow! Really? This will definitely boost the trade in Singapore. But how is this possible? Sorry, let's continue.
Well, Singapore focuses on promoting free trade through its Free Trade Agreements, aka FTA's framework, which with many countries including Japan, India, and etc. One such example would be the one ASEAN countries have signed with China. Now, let's have Mr. Shu Shan to share with us more about it.
你好，我是苏珊先生。My company is 天成集团. I specialize in electronics trading in Singapore. Singapore and 中国 have established good trading relations through reduction in tariffs, so that prices of goodies sold in the market are competitive. About 7,000 types of goodies here have low or zero tariffs. Aha! Consumers like us that can afford imports. Mrs. Tan, you're right. Also, producers like us will also be more willing to export their goods.
Thank you, Mr. Sushan. Indeed, With this FTA network established, Ms. Renanata's business will find it easier to trade with our FTA partners and to invest in their markets.
What about the Singapore for the flow of business? I know about Singapore's Changi Airport, one of the busiest airports for air cargo, but not much about the seaport.
Yes, Singapore is strategically located at the heart of Southeast Asia, and its extensive air and sea linkages have facilitated inter-regional and intra-regional trade. We'd like to invite Malaysian actors to explore on this point.
Oh, hello， 我是每天坐 bus 来的，但也算是过海，有过那个 causeway。So you have asked the right person. Singapore is home to the world's largest transshipment hub port, with connections to more than 600 ports in 123 countries. Singapore is still known for its trade in international trade and its function as a vital port of call, especially for traders dealing between the Eastern and Western time zones. Singapore is the 60th largest trading nation in the world, and its external trade is more than 3 times its GDP.
什么是 GDP？
GDP.
Wow, you know quite a lot. Strategic location. How perfect!
Yes, of course! Also, many of you should know that Singapore exports rely heavily on imports for production and consumption. Now, let's hear more from Mrs. Tan, a typical Singaporean housewife.
Aiyo, just call me Auntie Ken lah, no problem one. Eh, alamak, on air lah. Hello, oh boy, can see or not?
Mr. Tan! Mrs. Tan!
Oh, I see. My husband works at an oil refinery. Oh, his name is Tan Ah Seng. Working at the Singapore Petroleum Company SPC. Must remember him, ah. Singapore doesn't have a lot of natural resources, but got a lot of auntie like me. So we import a lot of things lah, especially oil. Everybody needs to use ma. My Allah got tell me before. Singapore is the 3rd largest oil refinery in the world, behind Rotterdam and Houston. Singapore imports oil from other countries before refining them for further use to other countries.
Indeed, Singapore's advanced infrastructures such as port, airport, roads, telecommunications, and skilled workforce have allowed it to value add to imports for re-exporting. Alright, let's move on to the next one.
What? Move on? I was finished like.
And since Singapore imports a lot of raw materials and basic necessities, she is particularly vulnerable to imported inflation, and we try to keep this to a minimum by allowing a slow, gradual appreciation of the Singapore dollar.
And last but not least, Leticia Pongnino will share with us what she knows after working so many years in Singapore.
Hello sir, hello ma'am, my name is Leticia and I am a maid. Today I am here because sir and mom asked me to come here and be a celebrity maid. Still got money to earn, and then they don't need to give me allowance. I'm very shy, so please don't ask me too many questions.
Alright, so do you mind telling us more about Singapore's trade?
My sir is a producer producing cars. He's very rich but don't give me a lot of allowance. He always says that Singapore exports have high import content. With imported inflation, there will be higher cost of production. This means that Singapore's exports will have lower price competitiveness, and this will affect exports. Moreover, if the higher cost of production is passed on to consumers, consumers will have to pay a higher price for the same good. This results in the loss of consumers' welfare. Then nobody wants to buy his car, and then I'll have even more little allowance.
Letitia, you can upgrade your skills so as to better cope with employment issues. Singapore has been working closely with various unions and agencies, like the Workforce Development Agency, the WDA of Singapore, have developed the SPUR skills program for upgrading and resilience to upgrade worker skills or to retrain them.
Retrain workers like me? Then I can help my sir and mum more. Maybe I will get more allowance. Thank you, thank you.
That was an informative interview. Miss Viranatha, how do you feel about it?
Yes, all of this were wonderful. I'm definitely going to do business in Singapore. See you there.
We look forward to seeing you in Singapore. Now, my dear viewers, all of you have seen what Singapore is currently undertaking. Singapore aims to become a globalized, entrepreneurial, and a diversified economy.
And one key strategy that we are looking out for would be to expand external ties, embracing globalization through the multilateral trading framework of the WTO, regional cooperation, as well as bilateral free trade agreements.
Also, Singapore should not be overly dependent on external demand so that growth will not be adversely affected in the event of a world recession. With the rise of economic giants such as China and India, it is important that economic policies are tailored to generate greater demand for locally produced goods and services and more investments so as to achieve a sustained economic growth. That's all for today, until we see you again on Singapore Talks 5 Reasons Why. Goodbye, good night!